What's up, everybody? It's Deanna and I'm coming back with another video. Today's video is going to be about Tamila Hosford. If you're new to my channel, basically what I do is I channel spirit and I try to relay a message that wasn't really expressed during the time that they were here. Now, Tamila was found November 4th and she was discovered. They say that they discovered her body outside of the woman's home at 7:30 a.m. Now, the people inside the home didn't call the ambulance or nothing until 9:30 a.m. So that itself is sketchy to me, and the fact that Tamila was supposed to be attending a sleepover for just women. Now, there were 7 women there. Coincidentally, there was 3 men also invited to the sleepover, and one of the men there was actually involved with hacking Tamila's friend's information. Basically, got her phone number, got her address. You can see her in a news clip talking about it. But that's all over social media. You don't see Tamila's case broadcasted. That's what they meant by the family has political ties and money, because you don't see Tamila's case broadcasted that much. And the fact that this happened November 4th and I'm just now seeing it, they're just now like, this is, blowing up. I'm like, wow. But it's not the first time. Black people have always faced this type of injustice. Now, Tamila was, I have to mention her age. She was in her 40s. Now, she was also a mother of 6. She had 1 stepdaughter and 5 sons, and she was a married African American woman. And it's crazy how you're supposed to be at a gathering with a whole bunch of women who I believe you may trust, because if it was me, I wouldn't go to a sleepover with, even if I at least had to have one friend at that sleepover just to stay over there overnight, or just to even go, because it's like, if I don't have someone close to me there, why am I there? So keeping that in consideration, it's just like, it sounds weird knowing that you know these people personally. Nobody's just staying over at nobody's house. That's why I'm saying I couldn't be over at nobody's house if I don't have a personal relationship with someone there. But I'm not saying that she didn't do that. I'm just saying that wouldn't be me, because if they feel comfortable enough to kill me, then you know what I'm like, I would have been saw the signs. I would have tried to left a long time ago. But some things that happen in life is, what's the word? Unavoidable. There we go. But the way that this reading started, I was looking at, I think you say his name right, I was looking at Shakabar's page and he shared it initially. So that's where I found it at. And he was asking people to share it and da-da-da. And, I wasn't going to try to do a reading. But then I was laying down, and this is at, should I say this now? I should. This is at 2:21 in the morning. You know I like my synchronicities. So this is at 2:21 in the morning and the battery at 21%. Now, I actually finished this reading at 10:02. But anywho, it was that late and I was trying to lay down, go to sleep, and I put down my phone and I was thinking about something after that. And I'm like, I'm just telling you how it started. So I'm like, oh, it was a post, but I'm like, I couldn't be out in public I just couldn't be out in public drinking. I would have to be at home drinking if I want to get that messed up. And then I saw the words, like her now. Yes, see words in your vision. I saw the words, like her now, and then I saw the news clip, and then I'm like, oh, I already know where this is going. So I wrote it down in my phone, and as I was translating it onto my pages in my book, I also saw that someone was nervous, and that it was a man. He was tall, his shirt was unbuttoned a little bit, and his legs, the way I saw him, it was like he was, an orb just went over her, but the line is about her son, but I was going to read that later. Basically, I saw him at an interrogation table, and his legs were wobbling. Now, the vision was blurry, but what spirit zoomed in on was the fact that his legs were swaying back and forth. And I also saw him like fiddling with his fingers. I can't do it because I'm holding my phone, but it's like he was going like this back and forth with his fingers, and he was messing with this one. And I know he had a ring on his finger, so I'm believing that he's married. So I'm just telling you what I got in between, because you do get visions in between. But after I saw that news clip, I should have just said this. After I saw the news clip and everything, I heard, well, actually thought it explains why no one remembers if they were all intoxicated or if they were that incoherent because they were drinking. But then I heard she planned it. So that just debunks everything that I said. So then I'm like, I definitely have to do a reading. And that's kind of where I ended it. And then I just continued in the morning. But I saw, oh no, actually I saw multiple things. Let me stop getting ahead. I actually saw like shoelaces, but there was like a transition. It was like a stain on the shoelaces, and I initially thought that it was blood. Now, and they were actually clean. That's why I'm saying it's like seeing the stain, and it was like a transition. And then that's when I saw, like, I kept on seeing her arm twisted behind her back. And then that's when I saw, like, her lip was swollen on one side. It was just, she kept on showing me one side of her face was more swollen than the other side of her face. Now, the way that they made it seem like she was beaten really bad, and she was just found outside. And it's crazy because let me stop getting off track. But anywho, I saw her lip like busted, and it was red, and then it was like a little green mark in between. And later in my vision, I actually saw like she kept pointing to one side of her face. Like she was up close in the mirror and she kept pointing to one side of her face. And the way that her face was swollen was like exaggerated. It looked excessive, is the way I described it the first time. So after all of that, I actually kept on seeing her running. Like I kept on seeing like the motion of her walking fast or trying to run. And the orb just went over. It's been going over one word lately, but it just shot over two. And it went over there's blood, and the rest of the sentences on the shoelaces. So there's blood, and then right now I'm saying that she tried to run. That's really weird. So after I saw that she tried to run, I saw that about maybe 2 to 3 times, because I remember writing it down again. But I saw that she was near the exit. Whatever they was doing, she was near the exit. Now I also kept on seeing that someone grabbed her arm, because I'm skipping. But when I saw that someone grabbed her arm as I was writing this, I felt like someone that was watching, they were reminiscing about the evidence in the case. I don't want to just point to one of the people that's involved in the house or in the situation, but I felt like I saw something pertaining to that. And then it kind of goes from gruesome to happy to gruesome to good memories. But I saw the words her, music old, and the orb went over the word her. Now, then after I saw that, I saw someone shoving her, but like her arm was behind her back, and they had her arm, and they was pushing her forward, like they were walking, but she was going forward. And then that's when I saw the words when dragging her. Now the coincidence is, oh, let me finish. And then I heard they elbowed her, and then the orb went over her again. But wow, I didn't even peep that the first time. Because when I first recorded this, I showed you that I circled it twice. And then the second time, I just wrote it down. I didn't circle anything. But wow. Let me just show you what I'm talking about. What I mean by it goes over the same words twice. See? And then I have it written down that the orb went over her again. But it's just weird. I feel like spirit is, with the way that the orbs are periodically going over these words, it's just, I feel like there's some type of message within it. But let me keep going. So my initial question was, I actually said this out loud. My question was, why were they beating her? And then I didn't even hear it. I saw she can answer that. And then I went over the word she. And then I had a vision of, like, this happens a lot, but I had a vision of Spirit showing me my book. And it was like there was writing further down the pages where the actual pages was blank. So it just showed me that I was going to continue the reading. Where am I? And then I also saw the words later. And then I went over the words later. And then that's when I heard her phone. And I actually got that twice. But it was the first time. It was honestly the vision. I actually saw the word just dial. And I saw like this little box. That's honestly what I saw. And that's why I always put like ×2 near the things. There was a lot of things that I kept on seeing twice that I feel like I was avoiding. And I'm learning that I shouldn't do that despite what we may know or what we may not know. And then I also saw I saw the words they wiped clean. And I actually saw a female's hand on a railing near the bottom of the railing, but it curves at the end. And it was a wet cloth. It kind of reminded me of a baby wipe. The way that the texture was. But you know it's not a baby wipe. You know what I mean? But this is basically what I saw. It's not a good drawing, but it illustrates the cloth and the end and where her hand was in my vision. Now, it was a dark brown color. And then that's when I saw the words, her argument, but this is honestly the way I saw it after I saw the words. It's kind of like in the movies where you see the scene shift and it goes from the wall, it slowly goes from the wall to the open space of the kitchen. And I saw that briefly. Like I saw the dark side of the wall more longer than I actually saw the people talking in the kitchen. But it was just that motion, and I saw people standing in the kitchen. But then it cut off. So yeah, I can't forget to say this. So orbs went over her again, and then like I said, over her again. Then it goes over she, and then her phone, and then it goes over argument happening. You see what I mean by spirit? It's just like, it's the puzzle pieces. And then it just shot over the fact that it goes over something. Another thing that I circled that I said over and over, that she has something about her hands that I'm going to say in a minute. It just shot right across it. But it's actually the next thing. And then my phone glitches. But I saw the words, they cleaned hands, and the orb went over the words hands. And I actually felt this in my hands. That's what's disturbing. Because it was these two fingers. And the way that I saw it is like, imagine, the way that I saw it is like a dark figure. You know, if you watch my other videos, you would see that certain things Spirit highlights for me. Like, further in my reading, I'll tell you that I saw the words makeup neck, and then it's like she's laying in her casket. And I see that her neck is highlighted. Like there's a light on her neck. And then seeing the words makeup neck, why does she have makeup on her neck? What happened to her neck? It's just things that you see that brings on more questions. Like what type of altercation do they have? But anywho, that's just an example of like what I mean by spirit highlights things. But I actually saw her in the casket. But this time what I saw was, it was like the silhouette. I wouldn't say silhouette, but it's like the shadow. And it's like somebody's body laying down. And then someone's standing over her feet. I can feel this. Someone's standing over her feet. And she's laying face down. And then someone, it's like you're laying down and you're picking up her arm from standing above her legs. And you're pulling her arm up towards you. So her hand is like this. And the way I saw him grabbing, it was like he was pulling by her fingertips. That's how I saw her hand droop. And what I said, this spirit, like the orb went over, I wrote, she has small hands and a bigger palm. Because the way I saw it was, she just had tiny hands, and her arm looked, I want to say swollen, but it was just thicker. Because the way he was holding it, like pinching her fingers. But basically when I saw that they cleaned her hands, and I felt I felt it in these fingers. I actually heard, that's what I heard. I heard that at the same time. So I don't know if they were clipping her fingernails or like, you know, when you're cleaning and it just goes. But that's what I heard at the same time. It just felt nasty. I don't know, it's just like something. So then that made me think, so they're cleaning her hands after she was unconscious. Like I said, it just brings up a whole thing of questions. Now, I did see the words her tooth, and I saw like a bottom tooth. It was like missing. But then I saw like spirit lift up. It was like this. And then I saw like blood around the gums. And then after that, this is weird. I don't know what this means most specifically, but I saw the arm laying out like this, and it was just the forearm. And like I said, it was highlighted. And this is one of the things where the areas are darker, and this is basically the only thing I could see. And it was just the inner part of her arm was highlighted, and I saw the words "no scars," no scars. And then as I was writing it down, I got caught off by the words "around wrist," so it made me think there was some type of indication of a struggle around her wrist, because you're writing that down and you're saying that there's no scars, but then you see the words "around wrist." You see where I get my ideology? But then right after that, I heard she dumped her. Now, I wrote that I wrote that down because I just couldn't ignore it no more, because the first time I heard they left her. So who is she and who is they? And it makes you think, if they dumped her there, then where was she killed initially? But it just reminds me, um, I just saw the words multiple rooms, and I was going to say this later in my vision, might as well say it now since it makes sense. But basically what I saw was, it was, I can't remember if I saw words incorporated with it somewhere in my, no, I didn't. But it was like one light was on in a particular room in the back. And then I saw the words multiple rooms after that. But I actually got that during my reading that you guys watched the first time. And I saw the words multiple rooms, but I felt like it was spaced out. They were separate rooms. Um, oh, Something about, I forgot to say this because I also got it in the middle of my other reading, but I saw the words private conversations. And I saw two people talking closely to each other's faces. Um, a representation of the secrecy. But let me keep going. But still, who dumped her? Who was they and who was she? But then that's when I saw the words her purse. Now she actually showed me her purse in color, and she showed me a purse in black and white. I don't know what that means, but it's just some, I never saw that before, so it's just something different. So it must be something significant. And then Spirit also zoomed in on the fact, the little zipper part, it has some type of logo, some type of engraving. But yeah. So what is it about her purse? Why show me her purse in color and then in black and white? If you take that into a different term, it can mean something totally different. Like, was something missing or what? But, and then that's when I saw, because things that I'm seeing, it seems to be periodic, because seeing no scars to seeing the words her purse, and then to seeing little marks on her chest, but they're like spread it out. And then that's when she showed me her face significantly swollen. And then that's when I wrote down that I saw it twice. I'll stop speaking so fast so I can say things clearly. But I have to go to work soon. I'm not even dressed. I just have my scarf on. So that's when I got to the part about the back room. But then after that, I wrote down, I kept on seeing her running. And the way that I saw her running, I thought I was reading something. The way that I saw her running was, it was like this narrow hallway, and it was this sloppy. It wasn't a sloppy walk, but it was like this. It wasn't coordinated, and I thought, was she dizzy? And then that's when I heard, I can walk, straight like that. I can walk, and then that's when I heard. I didn't hear it, but I saw the words her pull back, And then I saw someone grabbing by the hair. It looked like some type of struggle, honestly. Then that's when I saw the word sun watching, and it was one of the older ones on this side, like the last one. And then that's when I saw the words kiss children, and I saw the grabbing of the face. It was like the puffiness of the lips, and the whole scene. But and then an orb went over the word's face, and then hold on, I'm trying to remember the order because the orb went over face, and then it went over cheek, but one happened before the other. But I saw the words heart, her scarred cheek, and then I saw that it was deep in her face. This is honestly what it looked like some type of triangle. And then actually, when I was done with this reading, I saw someone's scar healed. Like I saw the same scar, but it was a female, and her face was healed, but it was like deep in her face. It honestly looked like the way the skin was. It looked like there was a straight mark. I'm thinking about how to describe it. It looked like it was a straight mark here, and it was like these parts, the part where drew the triangle. It was like these parts. It was like how a face has those. What's the better word? Like those chew marks, like those like those little indents. That's what the bottom of her scar looked like. But and then I thought, well, they could only be cleaning her nails if there's DNA under it. But then seeing like the scar on her face made me think, was someone scratched? Did she scratch someone? And then it makes sense why they're cleaning her nails. But then I saw the words her restraint. Her restraint her, reverse, if you will. But then that's weird because, like I said, the vision's good to bad. But I saw like this dish, and it had plastic wrap on it. But this is honestly what it looked like. The dish is here, the plastic wrap is half, so it's like kind of on it, but like crumbled. So it's like half on the platter. And then I saw like individual things inside, but I saw the color of it. Actually, it was like this beige color. But I saw that, but it was like someone was standing outside of the door, and it made me think like, did she bring this? Did someone else bring this? And then that's when I heard their cupcakes, and I actually heard that after it was already written. I was just trying to figure out what it was because I'm thinking like, okay, this is kind of random. What am I gonna say with this? Or was it just her invitation, like her greeting? And then you think, why is she bringing this up as well? But that's honestly what I saw. They're cupcakes. That's what I saw. That's what I heard. They're cupcakes. Sorry, I'm tired. I just woke up not so long ago. And then that's when I saw the vision of the husband. And then it went straight to his pockets. And then that's when I saw the word some expensive. So it made me feel like they were having money troubles. And actually, after I did this reading, and I was looking on Chakra Bar's page, and I clicked the hashtag of her name and stuff, trying to find out more information, I saw that she had a GoFundMe account. So if you guys are interested, or even if you have like a little like change or something, just something small, just donate what you can because the family may need it, especially if Spirit is bringing up that things are expensive, that she's acknowledging this as well. Just meaning that it's crazy because it just goes to show you how incorporated a spirit may be in someone's life. And then I kept feeling like, not even a feeling, I actually saw this. I just didn't describe it when I wrote it down. But I wrote down that my nose hurt it, but I saw the vision of this. And then that's when I saw the word she followed her. And then that's when, not just once, but twice. And I ignored this the first time, and it felt so ignorant doing it. But, sorry. Wrong side of the phone to be swiping on. But, after I saw the word she followed her, I saw the words her garden. Now, when I saw that, I didn't understand it, honestly. Like, I'm thinking, was it something significant about her garden? Like, it's just kind of odd to get that in, but I saw that I'm on page 5. I saw that in the beginning of my reading. So, and then I only wrote it down because I saw it twice. And I can't ignore it if I saw it twice. Now, it was when I heard it, and then it was when I saw it. And it was the last one. Because I remember the last one being I saw like these tools, and it was 3 of them. And imagine someone being in front of a camera, in front of your peripheral, and holding 3 tools in front of your face. And the middle one would be the digger. It actually has this older dirt on it, but there was 2 other tools that are blurry on the other side that I can't recall. But uh, I saw like, her being face down, but the way that her head was turned, it just looked uncomfortable. Um, but yeah, seeing her garden, and seeing the tools and stuff, and then seeing like in front of it, in front of this person holding the gardening tools, there was like this, the actual garden itself, but it had these like little rocks around it, and it was kind of big, and these flowers, but it was a small amount of flowers, and they were pink, and the rest of it, well, I say a small amount of flowers because the rest of her garden was like empty, is how I saw it. And thinking about that, like just sitting here thinking about the representation, especially considering the fact that she was found in the woman's garden. And that's why I said it felt so ignorant, because I ignored that not only once but twice. And when I saw it, when I actually, because I told you I clicked the hashtag and I was finding out new information, but when I saw it, I had to go back in my book and reread it, because it's like, dang, significant pieces of information where they may be found, where their last moments, I wasn't gonna say that, because I just thought, like, was it hers? Or, and then the second time when I saw the tools, I thought, did she bury something of hers, like that they were trying to hide? And then you get on Instagram and you find out she was found there. But let me keep going. Um, and then that's when I saw her, like, I saw the words her packing, and then I saw like her. This was the only. This is the thing I noticed. This is the only illuminating vision where everything is bright, like where the light comes in the windows and it's like really bright. But I saw her down to the child size, and she was fixing the jacket, and she was going like this on both sides. And they had the book back on. I remember it was like a what type of yellow would this be? Like a pale yellow, and it was like a white shirt. I remember the pants, they were gray, and it looked like they had stripes. I don't know why I saw that. It's just what but I basically saw her getting her child ready for school. And I know it's weird, but it's a drawer. I just saw a drawer being pulled out. And then I went over the words her just now. But that's further down in my reading. But after I saw that she was getting her child ready for school, um, I was thinking, like, what could I put in this reading that would be like something to leave for her kids? What would be a message for that? And I saw the words brought gift, and I saw someone carrying it up the stairs. And it was a flat type of box, but it was thick. But it was like wrapped in a loose type of, it just looked wrapped in some type of cloth. But and then that's when I saw the words release balloons, and I actually saw this going up in the air. And I know this is weird, but the way that I saw the balloons, it's like those expensive birthday balloons or something. And I saw them from the side, actually, and they were just going up, but it was multiple balloons. Um, and then I actually saw the word slow dance, and then that's when I saw her husband. So I'm thinking she's just reminiscing back into her memories. Now, I actually saw the words quick death because I was writing down it wasn't a slow passing. Um, and then an orb went over the words drugs, and that's like further in my reading, but it's describing that one of the people there was, But I saw the words quick death, and then I felt like she had some type of damage to her head or something, but I just saw the word skull, and then that's when she kept on pointing to her face on one side, like I saw like the one side of her face. And then that's when I saw the words internal bleeding. But I kept on seeing the words cuts. I actually saw the words hands cuts, but I kept on seeing this twice. I remember like one time doing my reading, and then one time in the bathroom, it was just like I kept on seeing someone with cuts on their hands. Um, and then that's when I saw the words her block. Yeah, so sorry I went over something, but I saw the words her block. So it made me think like, you know, did she sustain these cuts because she was defending herself? Is that why they had to clean her hands? Just weird. And then a orb just shoots back to the other side of the page where it goes over her, but the rest of it is something I'd already read, and it says her restraint. Now, right after me talking about the cuts in her hands, it goes to me talking about seeing the words her snort, and that one of them were on drugs. Because I actually saw like a white woman sitting in, she had this long hair. It was brown, it was a lighter brown color, but it was stringy almost. She was sitting in front of a table, and it was like in front of her waist, like you're from the other side of the perspective, and you're seeing this, and you see one's nostril wider. Like this is actually how I saw it. Some things look a little bit dramatic in visions, but it was actually, like I said, her nostril was actually really wide, and after seeing the words her snort, and then she's on in front of this big plain table. Just I had to bring up the size of the table because I just thought about it. Her snorting and then seeing the table in front of her. I didn't even connect the two. Um, but then I saw the words her unlocked, and I actually saw the phone, but it was just what I saw was just her passcode screen, and it was a few numbers highlighted, but I remember it being one in the corner and then one in the middle, but it was lower. And actually, one of the numbers was, I believe it was 3, but it was one here, and it was one here. And the phone, the way I saw it is interesting, because around the numbers is like these this glowing ring, and it's kind of blue, and the phone is like black, but the screen is bright. It just has these weird colors, and that's how I know that one of the words was highlighted here specifically, and one of them was highlighted here specifically. But yeah, let me keep going. So then I saw like that one of her sons will like music, or they have a passion for music, because I actually saw the words his songs. Now I don't know if they're doing this yet because some of her sons are younger, or if it could be the older son, but I saw that one of them are going to have a passion for music. Now I actually did see the words draw picture, and it was up on the wall, but the way I saw it, it looked like some type of character, because honestly it looked like a dragon, and it had this yellow thing, some horn, what you call it, had this yellow thing on his head. And that's actually the second time I saw something related to the kids that was yellow, because the third time um it was like, it's actually underneath it, but it was something about a nightmare. I mean, I actually saw the words nightmare, dream, and then I saw the words remembered. But way it was, from your peripheral you see half of a bed, and the door is here, and up top our headboard is, and I see those drawers again, but at the top of her headboard is where the light is coming from. So it makes me think there was a lamp there. But I know that they're sitting on the bed, and you see the sun standing at the edge of the bed, like kind of far from the bed, but near the edge of the bed. Um, I know it's weird, but I just see someone like there's a ring. Like I see someone putting a ring with other jewelry. And this is important. This is an important ring, but they're putting a ring. I see it dropping inside of this like little square jewelry. You know, your jewelry box and you got the little squares in it. I just see it dropping inside of there. I don't want to say it's a wedding ring, but that's the type of ring that I see. It's like a plain wedding ring, but I just see it dropping inside of like a thing of other jewelry. But what was I saying? Um, yeah, the sun was standing at the edge of the bed and then seeing the words nightmare dream. So it makes me think that either she's reminiscing about one of the moments where she, or she's actually talking about him having a reoccurring nightmare, having a dream where he has to go to their parents. I don't know why it's being brought up, but it's significant. I'm staring because Orb went over the word significant, and I was actually going to continue, but I forgot that after I saw the words nightmare dream, because I wrote it in two different areas because I wanted to say it earlier. Um, and Orb just went over the words answered. But I heard he had a, and then it echoed out like it just kind of, the voice faded. After seeing the words nightmare dream, remembered, and then hearing he had a, and then the orb goes over significant, and then answered. It's weird. But after I saw that, I actually saw the words answered after I thought like what was their motive, what was the killer's motive, because after that I was just asking certain questions like why would they kill her, and out of the 10 people I know multiple people were involved, and in between I saw the words covered face, like someone putting their hands up covering their face. Now that's when I wrote down that I saw her in the casket with the makeup on her neck, because I saw the words makeup neck, and then that's when I heard, I know I had to read it because I didn't want to miss anything. And then that's when I heard I was assaulted, just like that. And then that's when I heard a heart attack. And then Orb just went over the words points, but I'll read that later. And then that's when I heard they were waiting on her. And then that's when she leans in and she points to her face and she goes like this, showing me the more swollen side. And then that's when I saw the words she fixes hair, and she tucks her hair behind her ear. And this is her showing me her face that was in the mirror. She goes like this, she's in the mirror and she's pointing to her face. The second time she was fixing her hair in the mirror. And, just what that reminded me of when she did that afterwards, it was just like, caring about her looks, her appearance. Um, I think that's also something that sticks with spirit. How they, you know, because some people may be burnt really bad, and then they show you that they're better, or some people, you know, or they may show you their skin is different, or something like that. But yeah, that's really the end of my reading, and I have to get ready for work. But that's crazy, thinking that there's 10 individuals at this party, and it's a party. It's something about some type of not college, some type of football thing. All these moms there, and so that makes me think, what mentality were they on to where this woman ends up dead at the end of the night? And why were there men there if it's an all women sleepover? And why were one of the men that was there as involved with hacking someone's information? Hmm? Hmm? I don't understand. It reminds me of Get Out. You know how you're the only black person there, and then, oh, you know what I saw? I saw the word some quiet about it, and I see someone. It's a woman, and I see someone. She's sitting alone, and there's a couch by her, but she's not sitting on the couch. She's sitting on something individual, and it's like one of those blocks, and her hands is like tucked between her legs, and her legs are close together, because I just said her hands are tucked in between her legs, and I see the words "some quiet about it." So she's sitting there looking a little iffy. Looking a little iffy if she's quiet about it. Oh, And then I saw like a cut on the middle finger, and I saw someone putting their hands away and tucking them. Oh shoot, that makes so much sense. That makes so much sense. And I saw the words, "Some right about it," and seeing the cut, and then seeing someone like go like this, like not like this, but like go like this, and then hide their hands. Wow, wow. She's hiding her hands, and then the woman that I see that is quiet about it is tucking her hands moments before I say the last thing I said. That's crazy. That is crazy, bro. So I'm just wondering, how are these people not arrested already? Oh yeah, I forgot to say. When I was doing my reading yesterday, I actually saw the words that they were caught. I saw the words "they caught," and it was a woman, and she looked a little rough. She had like a wider face, but she didn't look too happy in that mugshot. But yeah, it's really the end of my reading. I'm just really confused on how this African American woman, mother of six, could just go missing. Well, not even missing, just be murdered within. I don't even know how long it's been since she arrived and when she was killed, because they don't even have that information out there. But it's just like to be there for that long, and my phone's glitching. But that just threw me off. It's just crazy. And then an orb just went over the words fighting. Wow. Because remember when I said you're only cleaning your nails if you're fighting? I actually write down stuff that I think because it just reminds me of why I saw certain things. And then seeing the word terror strength, that's crazy. But I said in my video, um, and the orb just went over words hurts. Like I said, I wrote down something about her nose. But I feel that, yo. I really feel it in my nose. That just goes back to what I was saying. But really, that's the end of my video. I don't want to make this too long. I'm just sitting here surprised of certain things that I'm seeing and the fact that murderers are just out on the loose and that they have such an advantage where they can just, this can go under the radar for months. She obviously didn't kill herself. I know they're not trying to make this one of those things where the black person just ended up dead and nobody's, there was no police investigation, no autopsy, no nothing. There was no justice for Tamila. And I think that's why certain people on Instagram like Chakra Bars is sharing stuff like this and trying to get justice for her, because how many times is this gonna happen before people are gonna say something? Does it have to be out in the public? Does it have to be someone murdered out in the public for someone to get someone's attention? Like what is it? But yeah, that's in my video, you guys. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and have a good morning, good night, wherever you are. I'm about to do this 3 to 8. And yeah, story is crazy. But let me know y'all opinions and stuff. Peace.